village about getting the funds together to take down the building, but, you know, that's been talked about and thrown back and forth for years, and I don't think they're anywhere close to that. I mean, that's gonna be millions of dollars from what I heard.
Really? Oh, it's really
Well,
asbestos
Matt, did you
mold
send
and-
something out about
Isn't it?
getting together a list of all the places we've previously looked at?
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
Now, what was that in connection with?
Megan said it would be good to have that at the ready because,
People will ask,
right,
why-
that you
why
guys
did
have done
we
your due
settle
diligence,
on
you've
this?
checked all
Okay,
of
but
these.
that was not in response to.
No, that was
No,
separate.
it
No.
was-
Okay.
It was just in case the question
Okay.
comes up,
Right.
why did you guys decide
Okay.
to
And
go
there's
for
a
this?
whole report on whether that was feasible or not. I think I think the link is still active, I don't know, but I'll
How about
check,
that?
but
And that was a long time ago. The
it was a long
building's
time
worse
ago,
shape
and
now than it
no.
was then.
No, it
Oh,
was determined that
sure.
it was not, it wasn't
Yeah,
Right.
it's,
salvageable.
Okay.
There's
should
a
be
couple of
more than a
things,
regular day.
I realized too, once they raise that building, the only way to get the demoed material in and out is on our driveway. So
Right.
they need to do that before we start building a new library, because otherwise it's just gonna be dust and a mess
And
while they
ruin our
truck
new
everything out.
driveway.
And
Or
ruin
ruin
our
a brand new
Well,
driveway.
we're gonna wind
Wow.
up putting in a new driveway on our own tab anyway, but if they wanna help towards that tab, that's wonderful.
I know, once
Yeah.
the library's done and a new library, a new,
New driveway.
New
we don't
driveway,
want-
we don't want-
They need to be
Yeah.
done before that,
unless they're gonna,
exactly. Yeah.
village and the town are gonna reimburse us and do a new driveway.
Yeah, but then the other thing
That's-
too is I came across a website, something but not forgotten, you remember what it was?
Gone but not
Gone,
forgotten,
yeah.
or
Yeah, something along those lines that
About history.
actually has pictures of that building inside that building.
Oh, neat.
I saw that, like people went inside, like they weren't supposed to, they jumped the fence and like took all kinds of, it was, yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that too, cause
I'll-
I Googled all that after seeing the Salesian property and
Yeah.
wanting to know what it was, yeah, that's very cool.
If you, yeah, I'll see if I can find that and pass it around in an email, cause you guys can actually see what's
I'd like to
inside.
see that.
And it's,
Are
doesn't
you
look like
stopping
very
inside at night?
library
The flashlight?
savvy and, daylights, I guess it was.
No, I'm just saying,
Oh,
you
can we do
haven't
it
been
now?
there yourself at night with the flashlight, like
No.
any other people around
They
here?
should hire a company
It's right
that,
up
The
there.
glass, the broken glass,
Looking
and
for
everything more than anything
ghosts.
else, but
Yeah.
the ghosts I'd be curious about.
they should hire companies like they do in, or, not anymore because New York City doesn't take out its older buildings, the pre-war buildings that came in and took anything that was of value and, you know, sold it at auction and raised some money that way, cause I'm sure there's a lot of, I mean, I've walked over there and some of those windows, they're not made anymore, you know, those leaded glass
Reclaimed.
windows.
Are there any
There-
windows
Oh, a
left?
reclamation kind of place?
There are
like a
some on
salvage
the
place?
higher ups, and they're gorgeous, they're
That you can't hit
absolutely
with a rock
stunning.
when you-
And I'm sure inside there's wood and carving and that,
Yeah.
you know, people would love to get their hands on, that they're no longer,
And if they can find George Carlin's room, that'd be
Who's
worthwhile.
that?
Who's George Carlin?
yeah.
The comedian.
He's a comedian.
Yeah.
But he went to that school.
Did he really?
And look how he turned out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
here's
so-
recorded.
Man, my daughter's grandfather went there.
9:00.
Yeah.
It's 9:00.
George Carlin?
Okay.
Okay, anything from the Sunshine Committee, you mentioned, well, somebody mentioned.
We're gonna hit them up next
You're
month.
gonna
And
hit.
next time.
Okay.
Shake you
20
down
bucks.
for $20.
What about the Friends, you have anything?
I don't think anything special's happening other than what we've been working on. You know, the band concerts, the Ice Group Social's coming August 8th, is that right?
Sounds right, yeah.
And,
Junior friends are meeting again.
the Junior Friends are meeting again. There are a lot of things happening with Junior Friends.
They were in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they had that picture in the newspaper.
What's your feel for getting the Friends involved with this campaign?
I think we can get some people.
Yeah.
I don't know how many we're gonna be able to get and how much time they can devote to it, but, we'll try.
Okay.
Matt, okay. Good evening, everybody. Wanted to congratulate Jim, Megan, and Emily. Welcome to the board and welcome back, Jim. And on the vote in general. And a great job by Carol Cullen getting the whole thing, the machinery to
Yeah,
work out
right.
again. So let's see here. Let's go through this quickly. Spring newsletter got out on time. I was happy. I think Carol mentioned that. Staff appreciation breakfast went well. The staff, as far as I can tell, all on board with the building, everyone seems excited, and everyone loves Bernie's quiche as well. Meet the candidates, you all know about that. Let's see. Yes, Jim and I met with the superintendent, their attorneys, etc., and Ben Gailey, who was not yet under contract, or is not yet under contract with us. I brought his contract with me tonight, but that'll be discussed quickly in executive session. It was basically just to get the council on for both parties sort of lined up and understanding what's happening. It was very fruitful and a very, I think, a positive tone, just like the last meeting we'd had with the school district. I was happy. We walked out of there feeling like everybody's supportive, and so that's good. As you heard, it's not always the case. So, I think you've seen the newest renderings that Megan sent me. I think we had them. Yes. Okay, so we're good there. I'm not sure who's going to be available. I think Jim, are you going to be available for the meeting with the project managers, construction
Yes.
managers? Okay.
Yes.
And maybe Bernie?
I think so, yes.
Okay. That's happening on Thursday, April 30th, just to let the new trustees understand this is part of the process. The architects and the trustees came up with a list of construction management companies. The architects actually put together the RFP. They select a few that match what we need, and they look for people that have done public buildings or people that they know have some special interest in public projects. They all gather here, and we sit with the architects to interview the companies and to choose who will be the construction manager and oversee the project. So,
Does some of us come in and listen, or no? You just want the building committee?
I think it's open. Yeah,
Okay.
if you're available.
What, April
That's
30th?
April 30th, 5:30.
And is it gonna run like 3 hours or something? That's what
Yeah,
I
it's
thought.
long, right.
A long thing. Is there material that we should look at before they come?
She sent me she FedExed me the bids if you want to take a look at them. I briefly went through them. I mean, there's sort of a, what do they call that? Not a summary, but a
Abstract?
abstract sort of. I think you can take a look at whatever you'd like. But
Okay.
yeah, I have it upstairs, so if you want to stop by.
So is there one or two?
There's
Four? There's
4 that were in.
There are 4 that were
And-
listed
and-
and 2 are coming, I think.
Yes, because it's 1.5 hours for each, right?
So it's 5:30 through 8:30?
I think so. Yeah, that's.
I thought it was starting at 4 for some reason, but okay.
I can
had
double
that-
check
I
the
thought
I
there
had
were 2
4 in my
meetings.
mind too.
Yeah, so
I
maybe
thought there were
it's
2 meetings,
four
2 separate
o'clock
dates.
and then 5:30 maybe.
Yeah.
Let me double check Megan's email to see. I could have.
Actually, I can't either.
I'll send it back out, the email I received from her.
So there's gonna be another one, another round?
I think they do 2
This
rounds
is
of 2.
round 1?
Right,
No.
2
no,
rounds with the same
there's
people, or 2
no.
different meetings with separate people?
separate,
The latter.
right.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Well, this wasn't really, well, Ed Connor is a great friend. This wasn't necessarily directly library sponsored, but Ed Connor I sort of invited Ed Connor to be the speaker for the Rotary's Charter Night, annual Charter Night. So he did a really nice job. I don't know if any of you've seen he's the guy that wrote the 2 books about Goshen. One's called Goshen Revisited. He knows Goshen history inside out. He's the village historian, and I introduced him and helped him out with it. He did a fantastic job. It was Goshen gone. It was sort of actually sad. It was all of this architecture that's no longer here, you know.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was
So all the
interesting.
people moved out from the city.
You can ruin it all. Okay, I mentioned the visits to Saugerties, which was a revamp of a Carnegie library, actually.
Right.
Paul Mays put on another
That was
section.
beautiful.
And we took another tour with Albert Wisner, also Paul Mays, just to see new construction versus sort of remodeling or retrofitting. Yeah, and we had an automobile mishap.
Have been a mishap.
Well, someone thought they were in reverse
That
wheel and
truck or
drive.
something?
No, I'm not gonna name names, but hit
It's
our.
up so high.
I know. Well, it was already rusted, sort of a little bit, but
Oh, is that how it
I
was?
mean, I think I shouldn't say
Trying
that
to
now.
move on.
No, it didn't come all the way down. It was that's an old
Yeah,
fence.
yeah.
It's wrought iron's been there
Oh,
since
yeah.
1977, but it.
Okay.
That's
So
pretty-
that's why it looks like it does.
Oh,
So was it a
okay.
patron or a non-patron?
Apparently not.
Non-patron,
Maybe
Enough said.
Employee parking spaces. Yeah, and I've got a few people interested in we've had TKC for 3 years now, I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
remember this, we do it in 3-year
Okay.
increments, so I put the request out for bids for the lawn, for the summer lawn.
Okay. So
And
we'll
I'm
vote
waiting
on
for
that
people to
next
get
month?
back. Yes,
or-
we have to, yeah, it's getting late.
Yeah,
So definitely we'll have someone by early April.
we're in
Okay.
April.
Like that. And and the Friends, Jim Levite, I don't know if you've seen the clock and the keepsake box upstairs at Circulation. Handmade, beautiful, are being raffled off for the Friends, ultimately for the library, at the trivia event. There's a,
Now, I sent out an email, did, those of you that are in the Friends email list, did you get that email about the raffle?
I
And
did.
were you able to
Yes.
open the?
Yeah.
You were, cause I sent it to the, Indy, and the Indy said you couldn't
They
open
couldn't.
Last meeting.
the picture, can you send it as a JPEG? And
oh,
It's a
okay.
big picture.
I'm not really sure how to
I
change
couldn't,
that.
I couldn't post it to Facebook either because it was too large.
Oh,
David helped to reduce that.
So that's, unless anyone has any questions, that's it for this month.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
We don't have any unfinished business, do we?
We have no unfinished, and the contract with
We're gonna move that down
the
to
executive session, the bylaws committee formation.
Vern.
Me? Yeah, we should have another committee called bylaws, to review
Okay.
the bylaws. There's some changes I was thinking about just because of this instance where we could've had 3 people swapped out, all new people, or almost half the board new, and there's some issues with that, but rather than go over all those, if we just create another committee for bylaws and have 2 or 3 people reviewing stuff and presenting it for changes.
Okay, that sounds good.
So you're looking for volunteers? What are you looking for?
Yeah.
He doesn't wanna actually come out and say it, what's the
Sure.
matter with you?
Well, because that's how we work, all the standing committees. But yeah, at this point, just making a motion that we create one more standing committee called the bylaws committee that would be in charge of periodic
Oh,
review
we
of the
added to
bylaws.
committee report.
Yeah.
Right, it would just be another committee.
And their job would also be to work with Matt and Carol. Or
Do we have to
typically
make a motion to have to
Oh, no,
create a
I
new
did. Do
committee?
have to
We
make a
do
motion
because
to
it's,
that? No.
Yeah,
I think we do
so.
because it's in the committees, it's in the bylaw currently, that there are only this many standing committees of these types.
Well,
Oh,
you
so
can
it's like-
appoint, you can create people to do a job for you without creating a committee.
No, what you're thinking,
Right, but we
the
want-
argument
it's
here
not
is to
an
have a
office.
standing committee that you can refer things to when issues come up with the bylaws.
Right, similar to the HR committee.
Oh, okay, it's
Right,
just
so
not,
let's make a motion to have a bylaws committee,
yeah,
is that
can I have a motion to make a bylaws committee made by Ellen
There
Mary?
you go.
Seconded by
Bernie.
Bernie, all in
Bernie,
favor?
yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No. And how many people are we gonna have?
Well, if you don't want 4, cause that's a quorum, so
There you
Right.
go, so
we're gonna go
2,
with
3.
3.
We're gonna go
Well,
through
all
it.
the other ones have 3, so
Yeah.
same
Yeah,
thing.
so do 3.
So you're one,
I'll do it.
I'm Mary. So we have a third.
I'm sorry, did you say Bernie and
Bernie
Ellen
and
Mary?
Ellen.
Yeah. Anybody else wanna be part of that committee?
Hey, new girl.
Emily?
Megan. This is
Megan, I'm
Megan.
sorry. Okay.
And myself?
Mm.
And Matt?
Well, we'll just
Well,
be
you're not,
No,
consultants,
you're not part of the
Okay.
board, so you wouldn't be on the committee, so.
just for informational use.
So,
Yeah,
Thank
well,
we're just gonna use you and review.
that'll be one of the first things we suggest is changes to the bylaws. Wording that out.
To add a bylaw.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's it for new business, right?
Well,
Other, Carol, did you wanna mention?
What?
I think during this meeting, we need to set up the person who's going to recommend the slate of officers, now that we have a new board.
When is the election of
Should
new
be-
officers? Is it the next month?
Next month it should
Yeah.
be
Mhm.
presented.
I think it's,
Present the slate next month and we vote the following month?
No, we
Is
voted
there-
at the
I
meeting,
thought we voted that
Sit-
night.
that
Yeah,
meeting,
That night.
Yeah.
that meeting.
so generally what happens is that we pick 1 or 2 people to receive nominations in email. And then over the month, those get presented in email, and then, that person or persons presents it as a slate based on the consensus of everybody.
Right, and then it's either approved or other people go, but I think so-and-so should be.
And
One vote.
Yeah, I think
And
the
then it's
board or
one
the
vote,
president
Mm.
casts one vote for the slates or something.
Unless
like
there's
that.
another
It's the
nomination.
secretary casts the
Secretary.
vote on that one,
Right.
I could look that up.
Yeah.
but
So that's all in the
it's a
bylaws.
See, if we were really up on our bylaws, we would
There you go.
Too bad we got, but don't look at it, sorry, I'm usually home by now, so,
Almost done.
allergy medicine. See, when I put it in buzz, it's still, sorry about that.
So
Mr. President, are you going to appoint someone to head up the nominating committee?
is it usually an appointment or is
Yes,
it?
it is, we usually stick Ryan, but he's not here.
Yeah, it can be.
I've done it the last couple of years.
So there you go.
Would you like to continue
I
to
can
do
do
it?
it again if you'd like.
There you go.
Thank you, Jim.
I'm sorry,
Jim.
Jim is
I'll do it,
volunteered?
yeah.
He has volunteered.
Yes.
thank you.
And it's president of the board, vice president, secretary,
And auditor of the
Oh,
bills.
yeah.
and
Auditor of the
auditor of the bills.
Right.
And is there any prohibition on the audit of the bills continuing?
I don't know, was this year
No.
3 or year 4 for me?
That's what I was just
Yeah,
wondering,
really.
are you,
I
Since
don't
it's,
think we
since
did
it was
start with
formed,
you.
you've been,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it started late. It wasn't my whole, I haven't
Right.
always been auditor of the bill, so.
Right, but
Well,
we
did
don't
we have an
that.
auditor of the bills before you?
No.
A long
No.
time ago,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
had
but-
somebody, a long
Sure.
time ago,
Yeah.
before
It's
anybody.
It's really
here was
hereditary,
on
Yeah,
the- That's
that's-
right. When Bernie's daughters old enough, she could be the auditor of the bills.
I think the only thing is that the president can't
The president's-
be.
Right,
Yeah,
and
the
you
president
have
was
done it
years.
2 years in a row, is that right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so.
It went very fast.
It sure did.
That was fast.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right, so I guess if you are interested in any of these positions, please email me and let me know if you're interested and
or
I'll talk
nominate.
to some people and so on,
Or if you wish to nominate.
Mhm.
or nominate.
And did you guys already have your book of bylaws? Okay.
No, I have nothing.
That would be,
That's
that would
what we
describe
had
different
like
positions, so.
Like, oh my God, what have we gotten ourselves into?
I didn't receive them back from Ryan and Nancy.
You didn't?
No.
I did
Or
not.
maybe just they didn't think of it.
I think, sure they didn't
Okay.
think of it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we couldn't run.
Well, that's why I brought it today. You can photocopy those pages. Give them to you, just wanna take them with you. Or read them before you go or something.
There you go.
What did you do, double the size of yours?
I know,
Ours is
really.
like,
Yeah,
Mine's not that big.
the back half is the first 2 years I was here, all the paperwork, so that's what that is. And then I stopped collecting the paperwork.
Oh, really?
Or I stopped putting it in the
Where you
binder
from?
anyway.
From the meetings?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's all in a pile on my desk now.
yeah.
I'm sure that's all.
I need a second binder.
It's all
Wouldn't it,
online, so-
for next month's meeting, other than the election of officers, do we expect to hear anything back from Megan and Paul in the near future? Where are we with
I've
them?
been keeping it pretty close.
Wouldn't there
Touch
be a
with them.
report on the project manager
Well,
Right.
interviews?
yes,
Okay.
And then we would have to make some kind of a plan for the, what do they wanna do with the public meeting, right? Don't we have to get on that? 'Cause
We should
people
get a
start going
date.
away for the summer
We should pick a date.
You know what I mean? Like, are we gonna do one, what's their plan?
Oh,
They
the
have-
forum.
Forum,
Public
right,
forum.
right, what I call
Okay.
it. Yeah, right, when do they
Well-
wanna do that?
Do we have enough to go with that?
I don't know.
No,
So,
well, we have, what we do have now
we
is
have
the
estimates on the cost and we have
the renderings,
the
too, which you can all
renderings,
see.
so-
Right,
right.
and those are digital. We can get those. If
okay,
we wanted to print them out on nice glossy or something.
right.
But we should pick a date, or, a couple of dates, target dates for the community forum.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, pretty soon,
Well, the forum is basically
I
the
won't be at the
architects are
July
gonna do
meeting,
that,
just
right?
so you all
Right,
know.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying,
but
the architects are
we-
gonna do that, that's what I
we-
asked him to find out before the next meeting. what their plan
Publicize
was.
that and come up with a date with Megan.
Okay.
Right, cause I don't know what they do this, they have a plan, she
Right,
mentioned
right.
it, what
Okay.
was the,
So
what was the plan?
you're gonna talk with them
Yeah.
soon,
Okay.
if they feel May.
Right, that's what I
Um,
mean, cause
What if
May-
June
June,
have master
everybody's out
plan
of
we have
school,
somewhere,
and
but I'll call her tomorrow, see, they may have it plotted
July
out
and
already.
August are worthless, and
Right.
so.
No,
Yeah,
we
but
could
they
have a
wanna do
forum,
one in-
we could have a forum at the end of September. I think that was an original thought that we had,
That was
because,
one of the, I thought she wanted to
um,
do two, that's why I'm asking, I thought
I
it was
thought
one in
we-
the fall and one, I don't know, that's why.
no, I thought we were gonna do one to present
Mhm,
the new building and
Mhm.
why we decided to build at Salesian,
mhm.
and then stay tuned for when the referendum vote.
Okay.
That's what we thought we
Oh,
agreed
I
on.
don't know. I
And
don't
we
know about the
thought-
second one though. The first one, yeah,
But the,
doing the presentation on why we decided on Silesian and what we're gonna do.
right,
But I'm not sure about, you mentioned a second one.
no, stay tuned for when the referendum will be.
But we just
stay
talked about
tuned.
one public forum.
Yes,
Okay.
but at that forum, present why
Right.
we picked Silesian, present the new building, and then tell folks, stay tuned for when the referendum vote will be.
Yeah.
That's one forum. And I thought we decided in late September, because early September, people are going back to school,
Right.
paperwork, kids bring home now what,
Why not?
fountains of paper, and
Yeah,
we don't wanna
yeah.
get lost amongst,
And we'll
I
be
mean,
in
we
the bottom
have-
of somebody's book bag for a month and a half.
We'd have things fleshed out by then. We'd have the details
right.
and not just
And
estimate.
hopefully, healthy.
Okay, so we have time on this then.
But how soon do you think we should get that rendering of the exterior out to the public in the sense of, I mean, I think if people saw that in the Indy or the Chronicle, they would start to get excited.
You don't
I know
wanna do
it's
it too
soon.
soon.
Well, I'm
That's
trying
the
to- I'm trying to
question.
answer- that's the
That's
question.
right.
That's what I
What
was,
language
right,
and
that's-
memories.
isn't that what this guy was here for, to help us
Mhm.
decide those things?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Well,
are
if
we
we
gonna
ha-
hire?
yeah.
But it would be
more
nice
to-
to
more
get
people, I think?
a nice size one that we have up here. I don't know.
on an
Are
easel.
there more
It's
people?
yeah, it's part of the buzz.
Are there more people like Mr. Berger that we're going to speak to, or was he it?
I think he's pretty much,
He's pretty
he's
much it.
got a proven track record, and he's,
It becomes highly
he's kinda-
recommended from the two districts
Right.
that had the budget pass,
Okay.
referendum pass. It's kind of hard to
Yeah, I
beat
think
that.
Do we-
Oh, yeah, we can't do that, that's a terrible idea.
Do we decide now, or do we go into executive session?
No,
Executive session.
Yeah.
What's it?
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to
Okay.
do the organizational meeting for the committees also?
That'll be next week, next month
Next
too.
week?
What that's usually what we do,
Oh.
we elect the officers and then decide who's on which committee.
Yeah.
Right.
All in meeting, except for doing
Right, we
it
do it
at
all
the
in one meeting, and then when do we, do the newspapers and all and stuff, is that after the first, this
No,
meeting?
that will be,
That's the organizational
yes,
meeting, all of it will
I'll
be next month?
prepare that for next
Uh,
month.
yeah.
Alright then.
As part of the agenda, all of our, motions that declare our,
Newspaper record and
Mm-hmm.
lawyer.
Lawyer.
who I am, the lawyers, the
Auditor?
The what?
the newspapers,
No.
No.
the banks,
No, we hire that as
Yeah.
needed.
yeah.
I
The
just-
Our
banks,
accountant,
everybody.
whatever.
Right.
Is it next month?
Yes,
Case
next
we
month, all,
In
all
case you
that
wanna
will be
look
done.
at the Bibles.
Okay. So those are the agenda items that we're gonna add, and there's nobody here for privilege of the floor. Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Yes, you
Motion
do.
made by Ellen Mary, seconded by
Norma.
Norma. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No.
No.